Speaking English naturally. That's right, you. Speaking English naturally, with ease, with flow, with confidence, with motivation, the same way that you speak your native language. Now, you might think that that is not possible, but eventually, through hard work, perseverance, and being determined, you know what?
It comes naturally. It comes naturally.
You too will be able to speak English naturally. In this video, what I'd like to do is give you my thoughts as it relates to ways to improve speaking English naturally. Now notice I said naturally and not natively. That's right, I did. Speaking English naturally for me is more important than speaking English natively or like sounding like a native. If you want more information on why I say that, what I will do is I will attach a previous video that I did in the comment section below. But I believe that since English is a global international language, you have the opportunity, you have the right, and the focus should be speaking English naturally. All right? Go check out that video. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand before I give you particular suggestions or thoughts on speaking English naturally is to understand the following. That's right, English is a weird language. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, it might not necessarily have the same structure in terms of the way the language sounds or grammar structure as it relates to your native language. So English can be a little weird. Certain words or phrases are not said, or the certain explanation might not make sense to you. But here's the deal. Once you accept that the language is weird and once you decide to continue your English journey, English might not be as weird as you think. So just, what am I trying to say? Do not compare English to your native language. The less weird you make it, and the more that you embrace it, will help you in the long run. All right, now, how can you speak more naturally in English? Suggestion number one, my thought, is to focus on your pronunciation, how you pronounce and say words. Now, I've done previous videos on that, on how to improve your pronunciation. I'll include those videos in my comment section. But in case you didn't see those videos, I want to give you 2 suggestions to improve your pronunciation in English that will hopefully lead you to speaking more naturally. Number 1, shadowing and mimicking. What do I mean by that? If there is someone out there that you know personally or you see on various different social media and you like the way that they pronounce words because you like their clarity, regardless of their origin, what you want to do is that you want to copy and mimic and shadow the way they pronounce and say words. Look at how their mouth structure, their tongue, their lips are working together. So, one is mimicking and shadowing. And the other suggestion that I have for you is, I really, really love. You know what it is? Sing!
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
When music by our side to break the color lines, let's work together to improve our way of life.
Now, singing. Why do I recommend singing? Well, singing will improve your pronunciation. Why? There are many different types of genre of singers out there. You can have fun while singing. It will help you improve your pronunciation. And if you have an opportunity, then if you're watching someone sing and you have access, listen to the lyrics. So singing will help you improve your pronunciation and make you be more natural and speak naturally, right? And it aids in your repetition. So that is suggestion number 1. Suggestion number 2, to speak more naturally in English, is to understand intonation. Now, what does intonation mean? It's basically the rising and falling of your voice while speaking. That's right. Now, most of the time, I want you to think about this. Think of your native language, whatever it is. Most of the time, you're not speaking English like this, monotone. You're not speaking English in one particular way. No. Understanding intonation. Hello, my name. How are you today? What are you focusing on? Are you speaking naturally? Do you hear the rise and fall? So, speaking naturally, if you focus on your intonation, that will help you. Are you ready for the next suggestion for you to speak naturally? The power of listening. That's right, listening. Do you understand the power that you have in listening? Now, there's different types of listening. You have active listening, you have passive listening, but the power of listening is important because when you're listening, you're understanding or beginning to understand how words and phrases in English are structured. You're being able to hear the enunciation, the intonation, right? And the power of listening is that you will begin to receive and interpret the English language. Now, once you listen, then what you can do is you begin to understand what's going on, and then active listening begins is that, you know what, you speak what you hear. Now, there are many different options for you to improve your listening, such as podcast.
Hey, let's talk about podcasts, one of the best ways of consuming information in English. Remember, the more you read and listen in English, the wider your vocabulary and general outlook become.
Nina Turner, you have a new podcast.
I do. Hello, somebody, John. Hello.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, that refrain became famous at a rally that I did in Queens.
Now, those are just some of the podcasts that I recommend and listen to. And notice, they're not just English-related podcasts. And here's the thing with respect to listening. If you want to improve your listening, again, listen to things that you enjoy. Because again, when you have a personal connection to English, you'll enjoy it more. So, listen to podcasts, movies, television series, whatever you want to do, but make sure that you listen to those things that you enjoy or have an interest with. To speak naturally. The other suggestion?
Please listen.
Please don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Everyone has uh-oh moments. That's how you learn. It's okay to make mistakes.
Uh-oh, I made a mistake. Who cares? Who cares? Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Let me give you 2 quick examples. Number 1, when I was learning how to speak French, I made mistakes. But you know what? Those mistakes were not always there and did not remain there. Why? Because I practiced and I realized I'm learning a new language. And so therefore, when I learn something and I continue at it, the mistake no longer becomes a mistake. Let me give you another example. When I first started making videos for social media, do you know how many mistakes I made? But you know what? Mistakes are opportunity to learn, and I practice, and I change this, or I modify that. So do not be afraid of making mistakes. Please, please, please stop beating yourself up. It's part of the learning process. And it even happened with your native language. You just don't remember it. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. And the last suggestion that I have for you in terms of speaking naturally, with confidence, clarity, I feel like singing today. Anyway, is the following. All right, listen to this last suggestion. It might be a little difficult, you might not necessarily have heard it, but the video's about naturally in English. The last suggestion that I have for you is the following. Stop being a student of English and let me give you the acronym. LIE. L-I-E. Lie. What do you, not tell the truth? No, it's an abbreviation, it's an acronym. All right? Stop being a student of English and lie. Live in English. Now, what do I mean by that? Live in English. Immerse yourself in the language as most as possible. Own the language. Make it part of your life. Just like you brush your teeth, you go to work, you go to bed, you go to sleep, you spend time with your family. Live in English. And I know for some of you, you might be saying, well, wait a minute, am I going to be a student? How am I going to be? Listen, it's a mindset change. Sometimes being a student, at least for me, is that I'm memorizing facts and just studying, and I had studied so much that I did not take time to practice and live the language. So eventually I want you to have a mindset change, be determined from moving to being a student in English to live in English. However long it takes you, no problem. Because speaking naturally, it's a journey. But live in English. So, these are the suggestions that I have in terms of helping you speak and become more natural or speaking naturally in English. This is part one of this particular topic. I'm going to do 2 more videos on this, but I wanted to give you these particular suggestions right now. Because eventually, speaking in English, you know what? Eventually, it becomes or will become natural. Just like your what? Just like you know to drive a car, just know how to speak in your name. It's going to become naturally, with practice, with determination. So listen, if you are new, let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Teacher Will. Welcome to the ATW family. This is the place I believe where you and I will learn together. In 2021, my theme, my focus, and I hope it will be your focus as well. The focus is determined. Are you determined to achieve your English goals? Are you? You can do it. You can do it. So, welcome. Click on that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that when I drop a video, you are made aware of it. And please, let me hear from you in the comments section. Let me know if these tips and suggestions on speaking English naturally will assist you. This is part 1 of the video of speaking naturally. I'll come out with part 2 and part 3. But until then, remember, speaking English, in time, by you being determined, it will come naturally.